What could the future look like with CBDCs? And do you think that would affect people's retirement or retirement needs at all?
100%. You know, what a CBDC does, and the Fed has even admitted it in the International Monetary Fund, the IMF papers that they've written, is see, right now, when they make a policy, it takes roughly 12 to 18 months to flow through the system. Did they get what they want? So we're really starting to feel the impact of the rapid rates that the Fed did 12, 18 months ago, right? So this way, once they have the CBDC, then they can have their finger on that policy button 24/7, which is what they've said. So that if they want the consumer to go out and consume, and you're not consuming, what are they going to do? They're going to drop us into negative rates more deeply, so that you're sitting there watching your principal evaporate. And when you're sitting there watching your principal evaporate, what are you most likely to do? But once it's in CBDC form, they can dictate what you can buy with it, how long it even exists, which you're going to see that. At first, they're not going to shock you with anything because they want to lull you into a false sense of security to get you to use it. And they've talked many times about this. So at first, it's going to seem kind of normal, like people are used to credit cards. Most people are used to credit cards and debit cards and all of that. So, and of course they've heard all about the cryptocurrencies, and we see what's happening in that arena. And remember recently, I can't remember whether it was the BIS or the IMF, but they came out with a paper basically, private cryptocurrencies bad, central bank cryptocurrencies good. So they're trying to get you lulled into a false sense of security. And then once they have you there, and let's say that a lot of the population does make that deposit into that FedNow and CBDC account, right? And especially, you know, we could go into a hyperinflation on the currency that's already out there, and then have the Fed controlling the value for a minute of the CBDC. So people go, oh, well, look at this is really bad, but this is staying more stable. And I think that's really what's very, very likely to happen to get you to participate voluntarily. That, frankly, makes having physical gold and silver outside of that system critically important, because if you have everything inside of their system that they have their finger on 24/7 and can dictate everything about it, they have you by the cojones, right? So this is why it's absolutely critical for you to be as self-sufficient and independent in as many ways as possible. Food, water, energy, security, barterability, wealth preservation, community, and shelter. Because the more independent you are, the less control they will have over you. And they are attempting this. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion. I mean, I really have hope of a revolution. Ray Dalio also thinks that a revolution is coming, and I agree with him. And because of these repeatable patterns, just like the end of the currency's life cycle. I mean, these patterns, when you know what they look like, then you know where we are in that cycle, and you can get into a position to actually not just survive it, but thrive through it and come out the other side in a better position. But you better have physical gold and silver in your possession, or heaven help us.